Report story. The young boy woke up with a start. His eyes flew completely open after a few blinks, sitting up and flying out of bed. The boy sped down the stairs and practically jumped into his chair at the kitchen table. His father looked up from his newspaper, laughing from his own chair. Careful there, little lighter. You're gonna hurt yourself there one day. What? No way. I'm too good at it. The young boy said, happily waiting for his food. Now what could possibly have you so excited? His mother asked, bringing in a bowl of rice for the two of them. You didn't forget. No way you forgot. The boy whimpered. The mother chuckled. I haven't forgotten. It's the day we see what your quirk is. The mother said, clapping both her hands together. The little boy grinned. He had been excited to see what his quirk was since he could even understand the concept of a quirk. Maybe you'll get a quirk like mine. His father laughed loudly, clicking his fingers, sparks coming out of them. I think he would fit a more watery type quirk. Isn't that right, son? His mother asked with a grin, manipulating water in the air. The son sat there and pondered that question. I want both of them. He cheered. The two of the parents stared at him, then looked at each other and burst out laughing. Well said, son, the father said, leaning over and placed a hand on his kid's hair. Eat fast. Your quirk analysis appointment is in about an hour, so eat and get ready so we can go. His mother said, walking upstairs to prepare. Bet I can eat faster than you. The child grinned at his father before scarfing down his food. Hey, don't choke on your food. We want to go to the doctors for your quirk, not your throat. The father said, though he started eating considerably faster. The family walked out the house and got into the car. His father got in the driver's side of the car. His mother opened the door for her son, who noticed the red bandana on his mother's wrist. Mom, why do you wear that scarf on your wrist? The boy asked. The mother chuckled. Sometimes when I get emotional, or feel strong emotions, I accidentally control the water around me while thinking about it. This lets me clean it up if I ever do. She smiled. That is smart, 'cause then you won't make any messes anywhere, the boy cried, jumping into the back seat. The father laughed. Exactly, son. There's only one place she can mess up and make wet. And that's enough out of you, she said with a glare at her husband. The husband immediately stopped talking. Yes, dear. The mother got in the passenger side of the car. We ready to go? The father called out. Ready. The mother and son called together. The car pulled back and turned out of the driveway, driving away to meet the doctor at the checkup office. Let's find out what Gasuki's quirk is. The father called. The boy was excited. He was practically vibrating in his seat. His heart was racing, sweat was coming down. This was in his quirk. He would get it just after this drive. What was it? What was his? Suddenly the car started shaking, the engine coughed. There was a light, and a boom. Yasuki never made it to his quirk appointment, however the heroes and the police quickly put together what had happened. Promoted stories. You'll also like. There's something up with Izuku Midoriya. Midoriya had watched his mentor fight for his life and end up using the last of his power. Now being the sole wielder of One for All, Izuku knows he needs to work. Shining Light 42.6K 928 Quickless, normal, no heroes or quirks. Izuku Midoriya and Ochako Uraraka have been best friends since kindergarten. But when problems in high school try to drift them, feel fear, my dear Sword O. I hate and love you. 258K 4.6 Con. IzuOcha fanfiction where Deku and Uraraka had a fight in kindergarten which led to something worse. But maybe they can be friends or perhaps more. Non-Quirko rated. The Black Lady of the Night. Vigilante hero was out one night and saw a person fighting a whole group of villains all by themselves, but the problem is that they're badly injured and no one knows. Captured by Love. BNHA Villain Redemption a 134K 2.8K Izuku. Midoriya has never felt more confused. Being a villain has taught him to never get attached to anyone, because they'll either end up betraying you, or you'll be. Cruelty. X1.2M 40.2K. A very hostile girl whom despised everyone and everyone despised her. Izuku Midoriya, a very sweet boy who was popular with his classmates, oddly developed. Hamari Gasuki's quirk was gas manipulation. He could manipulate the liquefied state of gasoline. During the drive the boy couldn't control his quirk, due to excessive excitement, causing the fuel combustion system in the car engine to explode, killing both his parents. The only thing that remained was his mother's red bandana. One thing became clear to Gasuki: quirks were dangerous. If it weren't for his quirk, his parents would still be alive. Everything would still be okay. These quirks were a curse, an infection, a danger to society. However, they were an accepted curse, and that was something Gasuki had to live with. He didn't blame the heroes for using them. He didn't blame the villains. He didn't blame himself. The quirks were the issue. After decades of fear of this disease, Gasuki looked for a cure. A cure to be rid of this curse. After years of searching, he discovered it: the quirk-destroying drug, currently only being handed out to gang members and other select few. Yasuki did his best, eventually earning the respect of one of Overhaul's followers, gaining access to a few cases of the drug, promising to leave a review, statistics, and blood samples from each dose. Each case he received, each time the drug worked longer and longer. He would soon have his cure. All Overhaul needed to do was complete the drug. Not only would he be cured, the rest of society would be cured. Gasuki walked away from that burning apartment building, a look of red in his eyes. That would have been true if Midoriya, Izuku hadn't literally punched through those dreams of being quirkless. Overhaul had been found out about the drug due to two wannabe heroes catching on to the drug's effects. Being rid of the disease was a crime. Soon Gasuki ran out of doses of the quirk-destroying drug, having only one left. However, rage burned in the man's heart. Before, it was the quirk's fault. But now it was the hero's fault. The heroes took away his quirkless dream. If the heroes wanted to use their disease to affect him, then he would use that same disease to bring them down. To destroy their dream. He found a glove and modified it to spark when he clicked his fingers with some old metals. His quirk had returned from his previous dose. This final dose of the drug, he would use it on the person who led the charge to take away his dream. He would take away that disgustingly infected green-haired boy's dream. He would bring down Midoriya Izuku. He will have him pay. Izu. Izu. A sweet voice called out to him. Izuku rolled over and slowly opened his eyes. Ochako was laying in the same bed as him, her brown eyes looking affectionately into his, her bare shoulder glowing from the light shining behind her. "Good morning," she said with a sweet smile. "Good morning," Izuku said quietly as he wrapped his arms around her, bringing in her warmth. She was unusually warm through her clothes. Wait a second. Izuku's eyes shot open. He had practically jumped a few inches into the air. Ochako was not wearing any clothes. Neither was he. Wait, hold on. Did we? Izuku started as he landed back on the bed, but Ochako put a finger to his lips. No, we didn't. You were fine last night, it's been hours. No difference being awake, right? Ochako said, smiling. Izuku gulped. It was amazing how fast she could adapt to things. Ochako scooted closer to him, grabbing his arm and leaning her cheek on his shoulder. I love you, Yano. She said softly. Izuku could make out the curves in her body from under the sheets, making him go red. He couldn't take his eyes off. I love you too, he said, going his best not to faint. However, something popped into his mind before he could, taking all his embarrassment away. Eri, he yelled as he jumped out of bed, looking around for his underwear. Ochako sat up, before questioning what he was talking about. What about Eri? She's sleeping in your bed, right? Ochako asked. Izuku looked back at her, her top only being covered by a blanket. Yeah, and if she wakes up? She can't just wake up in that room alone. What if she leaves and decides to explore? Izuku asked. Getting his pants back on, Ochako's eyes got wide and jumped out of bed as well. This caused Izuku to burn but did his best to stay focused on getting dressed. Wait, Ochako, why are you rushing? Izuku asked, turning towards her now, in a bra and underwear. Ochako gave him a look. What do you mean? Well, I mean, technically Eri is my responsibility. You don't have to stress over it like I am. I don't want to put anything extra on you. Izuku said. Ochako giggled and walked over to Izuku, putting her hands to his cheeks. Of course I'm gonna stress with you. We're a team. Your responsibility is mine as well. I wouldn't be a good mother if I didn't. Steam puffed out of Izuku's ears. Right. Wait, we aren't parents. Babysitters at most, Izuku said. Ochako thought about that for a second. She then booped his nose with her finger before walking to put pants on. Parents sound more fun. Izuku laughed nervously at that statement before putting on his shirt. He waited for Ochako to get ready before the two rushed downstairs and into Izuku's dorm. Eri was still asleep, hugging Izuku's phone. Izuku and Ochako sighed a breath of relief. Well, at least she's not awake, Izuku said, looking down at the silver-haired girl. Izu. Question. Ochako asked, looking down at the little bed Izuku had built and set next to his own. Yeah, what is it? Izuku asked, turning his head to look at her. How long does Aizawa plan for her to be with you? Ochako asked. Izuku thought about that. He looked back at the bed before realizing the implications of what having a bed meant. Was Eri going to be there for like a while? How would he do school? In fact, how would he do schoolwork without his quirk and watching Eri? That's a good question. Kenlair here. A bit of a shorter chapter but a lot to unpack in this. I hope you guys enjoyed the backstory to Gaslighter. Kenny Boy, where stories live. Discover now.